Hey, ladies and gents, this is Duas coming to you with a review of the Star Wars Black Series 6-inch C-3PO Walgreens exclusive figure. That's right, it's exclusive to Walgreens. And
Wow.
I was lucky enough to see a couple of them. I didn't take both of them, I left one, but hopefully somebody else found it. I don't know how hard this figure is going to be to find, but assisting in this review today is Miguel, who was there at Walgreens when we found this figure, and can attest to what happened when I found it. Okay, now, the weird thing about this figure, or what at least I thought was the weird thing about it, was that he has a silver leg. His right leg from the knee down is silver, and his foot is silver, and the rest of it is gold. So, when I saw this, I thought this was Hasbro screwing with us to try to get us to buy another figure. And it turns out that C-3PO has always had a silver leg in the movies. And yeah, so what happened was I was freaking out because I was like, no, I thought this was going to be the real C-3PO, the totally gold C-3PO. What are they doing with us? Why do they have another exclusive with another different colored body part? And then I called my friend Nate in Utah. He did not answer, and I'm like, why? Why does C-3PO have a silver leg? But I wasn't able to find it, but I figured, hey, this is an exclusive. It might be hard to find. I better buy one, and maybe I'll take my other C-3PO, which is my Star Wars The Force Awakens C-3PO, and I'll tear his gold leg off, and I'll replace this weird silver leg with a gold leg and sort of customize it. And then I'll have a C-3PO with a red arm and a silver leg. So it's a hodgepodge of pieces. But what I discovered was that C-3PO has always had a silver leg in the original movies. And this just blew my mind when I found out about it. Okay? And I'm not the only one. See, I guess they talked to the original actor who played C-3PO. He says, yeah, his leg was always silver. It was kind of dirty, and you couldn't really tell sometimes. And the other thing is, since it's like a chrome effect, it would mirror the other leg and the surroundings. So sometimes it looked like it was silver. Sometimes it looked like it was gold. But hardly anybody seemed to have noticed the fact that the leg was originally silver. Okay, there's another difference besides the silver leg and the Force Awakens is the figure is the red arm. I'm not going to open the Force Awakens figure because I'm going to take this one back and I'm going to keep silver-legged C-3PO. So there's the red arm, and then in his intestines here, his guts are different. As you can see, these are all sort of nicely...
Well, probably because the older one, the Force Awakens, is when he's older.
He's older, so he's had repairs done, maybe, and then his guts are all displaced, and I mean, he's been blown to smithereens and stuff. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But other than that, the figures look, just from peeking inside the package, look to be pretty much identical, except the Force Awakens for some reason has a gold leg. So I don't even, So here's the explanation that I found online for why C-3PO has a silver leg, and it took me down a rabbit hole that has shaken the very core and foundations of my being. It's because
we're all in a computer simulation.
No, it's because of the existence of parallel universes and something called the Mandela Effect. And we all, and what it is that there's a whole bunch of parallel universes, and they overlap, and that changes things in our universe. And so we remember things the way they were. For example, in our universe, C-3PO always had a gold leg. That's why nobody ever noticed the gold leg was silver, right? But when our universe overlapped in some way with another alternate universe where C-3PO had a silver leg, all of a sudden it changed events in our universe. So now in our universe, C-3PO has always had a silver leg. See how that works? And it's really weird. You can look it up on the internet, and people are absolutely convinced that their memories are correct. And no matter how much evidence you actually show them, they're convinced that the only thing, their memory cannot be faulty. The only thing that can be faulty
is the universe itself.
Is the universe itself. It's a glitch in the matrix. It's all a computer simulation. It has something to do with alternate universes, which have been proven through quantum computing. And, things can be, it's like Schrodinger's cat can be dead and alive at the same time. And mutually exclusive things can occur at the same time. So somewhere out there, I guess there's an alternate universe where C-3PO has always had a gold leg. They stole our C-3PO. And they replaced it with this one, which, now that I've learned about the so-called Mandela Effect, now I kind of like this figure more. Because he is proof that things are not always...
Yes, people are not just not remembering properly. It is...
what we believe.
It is, the very fabric of the universe is melting before them.
There are more things on heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. And this C-3PO figure with the silver leg is proof of that.
We should all worship C-3PO now.
We should. Because he came from an alternate universe, and we should also wear, furry, Ewok costumes and worship him. Oh, C-3PO, show us the way. He's a nice figure. I like the sculpt. He's not very articulated, but C-3PO doesn't have terribly good range of motion in real life. He's got swivels at the shoulders. His arms are hindered quite a bit because he doesn't have any elbow articulation, so he can't move his elbows. But he's got the wrist hinge and the wrist swivel and the shoulder. So he can wave bye-bye. He can put his hand down and rest his arm on his little buddy R2. He can just sort of awkwardly do the fig leaf pose where he covers up his robo-genitals or whatever. He can, so same thing on here. It's not great range of motion, but if you've seen the movie, the poor guy that wore this suit he couldn't sit down for one, and he can't sit down here, so that's pretty accurate. Although wasn't he sitting in that chair when he was being worshipped by the
he was.
Ewoks? Although now I don't even know if that actually happened.
It's a computer simulation.
And then if you think about it, he's got the best joint where he's got the best range of motion is the ab joint here, sort of. The ab crunch that he has is George Lucas kept changing the movies on us so we wouldn't know what universe we were in.
He wrote the computer simulation.
Maybe George Lucas is directing, and which explains why things were so crappy in 2016 because he's run out of ideas. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe George Lucas is a deity and he's playing a fast one on us. I don't know, guys. Mind blown. So, here's what I would have liked, and we'll probably get a version like this. I don't imagine Hasbro would pass up the opportunity to give us another C-3PO. But one with, dirty
leg.
No, dirtied up with oil
Dirty everything.
Spilling out of the joints and stuff. When you see the C-3PO in the movies, he's all dirty most of the time. He's lactating oil from his chest. He looks like he's lived, That's what the cool thing about the Star Wars universe is, kind of grim and gritty, and these things look like they have a history.
They have a history of lactating oil.
Yeah. The paint is pretty nice. The metallic is pretty nice. The eyes are painted pretty nice. It's a very subtle effect there with, you know, three white dots and one black dot in the middle. Kind of cool. I had my R2-D2 in the package this whole time because it didn't seem right to take them out because I didn't have a proper C-3PO. And so now I'm taking him out of the package for the first time so I could stand him up next to his buddy. I couldn't exactly, you know, have R2 out here all by himself because that would be like having, I don't know, Batman without Robin or, you know, Laurel without Hardy. Okay, Laurel without Hardy. Yeah, Batman without Robin. Okay, Laurel without Hardy, and they're part of a dynamic duo. So yeah, these line up nicely. They look good together. Pretty happy with it. So that's the story of C-3PO and his silver leg. I think I'm going to take back the Force Awakens C-3PO just because it was an okay movie, but I thought it was too derivative, and I thought it was more of a mashup or a remix, more so than an original Star Wars. Oops, Star Wars.
You just created an alternate universe where R2-D2 actually dies.
I mean, since there are billions of alternate universes, we're creating one every second, I think, or at least George Lucas is. All right, guys. I guess you can look.
C-3PO is George Lucas embodied.
If you want to look up the Mandela Effect, go on YouTube and check it out. I mean, there's also a big thing about Berenstain Bears, where at some point we crossed over into an alternate universe, and the Berenstain Bears, S-T-E-I-N, became the Berenstain Bears. Which, so I think now, anytime anybody notices anything that they think is weird, for some reason, the only effect that these parallel universes crossing seems to have is weird pop cultural stuff and like advertising copy and spelling mistakes. I don't know.
Also,
what
if you ever forget something, your memories are actually perfect. It's just the Mandela Effect.
Exactly. Miguel is already using the Mandela Effect for an excuse for why he forgot his charger for his iPad at his grandma's house. He remembers it, and he remembers remembering it in an alternate universe, but then, you know.
It disappeared while I was in the car.
I imagine that he's going to use that excuse quite regularly from now on. All right, happy with this C-3PO now. I'm not pissed off and bent out of shape because it has a silver leg, although I have to say that I really was before. All right, is DeWiz signing off.